All right. It's saying we're live. Gotta wait to see until my slow browser tells me I'm live, at least on YouTube. All right, here we go. 28 of you guys here watching. Thank you very much. I assume you're getting an ad right now, so I'll talk until you can at least skip that, but I appreciate the ad revenue. And let's get in here. I got about 15 minutes to keep you here. Awesemo's live stream starts at the bottom of the hour. You can either choose to stay here or go over to them. I'm either going to keep you here or lose you. Real quick, because I wanted to tweet it 16,000 times. These cars are too safe. No reason Myatt Snyder can walk away from that. He walks away from it. No reason to start caring. Secondly, I fully believe that I believe this race is going to race very similar to late 90s, early 2000 types of races, specifically at Daytona, not necessarily at Talladega, to where you will see multiple distinct groups of cars. I think we're going to see a lot of trains in this race. I think we're going to see at least three. We're going to see the main pack, the lead pack. If you're like me and you like watching old, races from 20 years ago, you might be familiar. If not, well, here's a very quick introduction. I think we're going to have the lead pack, the lead group. I think we're going to have a group, once a run gets started, I think we're going to have a group about 7 seconds back from the main pack. So I think the main pack is probably going to consist of around 15, 16 drivers. I think we're going to have a secondary group of around 10 to 12, and then we're going to have another back marker group, or at least a group that's trying to stay back. We're going to see multiple groups here. So in terms of the last car in line having an issue, I do believe that is real. We saw it in the duels. We saw Chase Elliott talking about it in the little pre-race thing they got going on right now. It's a real thing, and it's not just going to be happening to, BJ McLeod, to, Jacques Villeneuve. It's not just going to be happening to those guys. It's going to be happening to good cars. And so you have an incentive, or at least an idea, and we'll get to the picks in a second, but you have a theory here of, if you're going to ride here, you're going to need friends. You're going to need at least a pack of at least probably 6 cars. And I think we'll see that pretty much off the bat. I think we'll see Haley. I think we'll see Hemrick run the back. I think we're going to see some of the JGR guys. If they choose to run up there, so be it. I think we're going to see Denny Hamlin ride in the back in the second pack. I think we're going to see this first stage go green. I think we're going to see stage 2 go green. I don't think we're going to see a lot of wrecks in this race. I think we're going to have one big wreck at some point in this race, because that's how they used to be. But outside of pack racing, if you're here for, we'll get to the picks eventually, but if you're here for 3-wide racing, that's how it is. Personally, I'm 100% fading Hamlin. Real quick, when we look at the Millionaire Maker, this is a pretty expensive contest to enter. I was asking around between some people that I have a lot of respect for, and that usually mass enter, or guys that spend a lot of money on this. What do you think the average amount of lineups a player is going to do? And the consensus around the guys that I asked was less than 10, and I have to assume that it's probably less than 6. I'm assuming that the hard cutoff is about $100 for most people here. If you're entering 6, it's $150. Personally, I'm entering 12. That's $300. I'm comfortable with that, but not a lot of people are going to be doing that. And so I think that elevates the chalk just slightly, because you don't want to just be pissing away money by playing bad guys. So I think Hamlin pushes well over 60% ownership. I think he's around 61, 62. I think we're going to see Austin Dillon and Eric Almirola be somewhere over 40%. Once we start looking at guys that I think have very similar upside that are going to be not as highly owned, I'm going to be overweight on Daniel Hemrick. I'm going to be overweight on Todd Gilliland, Cole Custer, Landon Castle, Ty Dillon, Justin Haley, Noah Gragson. I don't think anybody's going to play Jacques Villeneuve. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. Everybody pronounces it differently. He's coming in with very low ownership. People are scared that he had to change a motor here. I am worried, and I fully believe that Jacques ends up getting involved in a wreck. But the motor issue is not a concern. Hemrick having to do a pass-through penalty, not a concern. I think he's going to be fine. He'll be a lap down for probably 100 laps. That's how it's going to be. I don't see that being a real issue. If that's going to scare people off, I think that's fine. Let's see. At least, Pierce, I think at least the plate racing is going to be a lot like, early 2000, things of that nature. But now, Hemrick, at least for me, not a fade. I'm not changing at all. I'm not changing any ownership with him. Are we going? In terms of stacking from the back, I currently have all the way up to Joey Logano in lineups. I still have a few lineups to be made, and I'll probably play one with Stenhouse. I'm really wanting to play guys that are either going to be ahead of the wreck or behind the wreck. And since I firmly believe this is going to be a boring race, which honestly, I'm fine. I just want Rex. I got my flip last night. I would like another one tonight, but I'm fine with the train fest. And I fully believe that's what we're going to see. I think it's going to be 4 hours of a train. That's fine. I want guys that are either going to be pulling that train or taking advantage of it late in the evening. And so Joey Logano clicks off for me. I'm not concerned about his backup car at all. I like Stenhouse Jr., and I'm going to put Stenhouse in a lineup. I think he's going to be up there racing full bore. If anybody's going to not be riding a train or carrying the inside lane to try and pass the outside, it's going to be Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I like LaJoy. When we get to the chalk plays, and I'm bringing this up on screen here. Almost killed the goat. Man, wouldn't that be? What a story that would have been if MJ got killed last night. Let's see. Let me bring this screen up real quick. So let's talk about ownership real quick. And you'll remember that this is the video that I had on the live show. So let's just Hamlin is my only full fade. I have one lineup with Austin Dillon. I have one lineup with Eric Almirola at the moment. So we're just going to block these guys out here and act like they don't exist. And then let's try and check out ownership here. And here, we'll get rid of these rankings real quick and really kind of break it down here again. So, So, who are the good plays here? Who are the picks here? I absolutely love Todd Gilliland here. I'm going to ride and die by what Todd Gilliland does. At the moment, I have 40% of Todd Gilliland. I'll probably bump that up a little bit more. I like Ty Dillon, my bad. I like Ty Dillon a lot. I like Haley a lot specifically because I don't think Haley's going to race until later. If anything, Haley is going to help keep Hemrick the lucky dog, which makes me just keep enjoying playing Hemrick here. When we get down to the plays down here, I'm assuming Gregson's going to be owned. I assume he's going to be chalk. I like him. I'm going to play him. He's about the only chalk I'm not concerned about, getting off of him or whatever. When we get to people like Cole Custer, I think between Gilliland, Hemrick, and Custer, I think Custer's going to have the most ownership here because people are going to want to pair him with his teammates. Eric Almirola starting in the back. We got Kevin Harvick starting around 22nd way up here. Yeah. So I think Custer is going to be the next high owned, but same with me. I'm fine going to Hemrick. I think Castle's going to go under owned in terms of what he should be. And so these are the guys, I don't know why I'm pointing down here. These are the guys that I love. This is my, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are 7 guys right here that a majority of my ownership is going to go to. Now, everybody else back here, nobody's playing Mr. Canadian back here. I have ownership to him. I'm most likely going to be under the field. I think if anybody's going to come in with the lowest amount of ownership in the back half of the field, I think it's going to be good old Jacques. And I do believe that it's going to be Cody Ware. I'm fine with them. I'm going to be overweight. I'm at least going to have 20% of each. I don't think either of those guys eclipse 10%. The only car I am concerned about is Kaz Gralla. And not in a sense of, I think he has a motor issue or something, but I have no idea where he's going to come in on ownership. Currently, right now, I only have 3 lineups with Kaz Gralla, where I have 4 with BJ McLeod. I have 5 with David Reagan. So right now, Kaz Gralla is my lowest owned driver in the 30s right here. But I like everybody here. As I said, I have one lineup with Austin Dillon. I have one lineup with Eric Almirola. It's an ownership game. I'm just going to not play them. I don't want to deal with look, the contest might not fill, but we have 10,000 people in that contest. If Hamlin comes in, or not 10,000, 100,000 people, give or take a little over. If Hamlin comes in around 60% ownership, I will happily hedge against those 60,000 lineups. Now, if Hamlin doesn't wreck, so be it. That's just how it goes. But I'm perfectly fine not playing those guys here. The guys that I want to play that I actually don't hate are the people starting between 20th and 25th. I have a good amount of William Byron. I have a good amount of Kevin Harvick. And I think, if anything, these guys should probably carry the same amount of ownership as Dillon and Eric Almirola, and I don't think they will. Best plays for drivers starting 11th to 19th. If I'm playing guys there, Jacques will totally be a DNF. Like I said, I called, and this is not me taking a victory lap. I just knew Myatt Snyder is going to be involved in a wreck in somehow, some way. Pretty awesome looking wreck. I knew Mayer would get in a wreck. That's just how it is. I think Jacques will totally get wrecked. The only thing that saves him is I don't think we're going to see a lot of pack racing. That is when I would be worried about really him getting involved in an accident. But if we're single file, if he goes laps down, if he's right in line, I don't think we're going to see a lot there. When we get to the guys starting, like I said, guys starting 11th to 19th, when we get here, Bubba Wallace is probably my favorite. I like Stenhouse Jr. I just have a cold for Bubba Wallace is probably the guy I would go to. Same thing with Stenhouse Jr. Those would be the two guys I'd focus on. You can do Kurt Busch as well, but if you're doing that, then I think you need to play Kurt Busch and Bubba Wallace together. I think they're going to stick together this entire race. But outside of that, a majority of my ownership is going to guys. My current player pool, or not player pool, what is it? The guys that I have okayed is pretty much Stenhouse Jr. back. I'm not playing Chastain. I have ownership to Logano. I'm not going to play Suarez. And outside of that, I'm going to try and get to everybody there. Let's see. I'm not owning Suarez. Let's see here. What other questions am I looking here? Yeah, where have you been? I mean, that was an awesome wreck too. That's the only reason we tune into wrecks here. Let's see. Look, we're blowing this out of proportion. Every team, newsflash: people cheat in racing. I don't know how it is. I know not for a fact, but if any team was going to cheat, it's going to be the Fords. It's going to be 2311 because they have the budget to pay any fines. This is F1 NASCAR now. This is not your old school NASCAR. This is F1 with a ton of money. These teams are going to be paying these fines, these L1, L2. As long as they don't get banned for a race, they're going to keep pushing the envelope. They're going to keep cheating. Interesting. I have not mentioned Biffle. He's the only, I guess I can take this down now because we've kind of talked about, but Biffle's the only guy that I don't have a lot of ownership to. I have him in one lineup right now. I don't like the Biffle play. If I'm gonna play cars that I think are gonna race very similar, I would much rather play Ware. I'd much rather play Reagan. I'd much rather play Gregson. I'm just not a big fan of Biffle. 85 of you guys here, I do appreciate you coming by, watching, and everything like that. Front pack 16 to 18 cars or two. What is this? Maybe. I just think this is gonna, and it depends on how organized these stupid drivers are. We showed in the duels, and specifically in the first duel before we had the, or even in the second duel, even in both duels, unless these guys are lined up with organizations, which they will be, but somebody's going to get an advantage during the green flag pit stops, and we're going to see a gap of probably at least 8 seconds. Going the speeds that they go, to catch up that 8 seconds, you need at least a 22, 23, 24 lap run of the backpack either just staying, arrow straight, or the front pack getting stupid racing side by side. Outside of that, it's going to be very difficult to gain that amount of distance back. And so that's why I think we're going to see three distinct trains. And I would implore you, if you got time, look back at the 2001 Daytona 500. As much as we love to laugh about the last lap, watch how they race. Watch 2002 Daytona 500 when Warren Burton won that race. I think it's going to race very similar to that type of style, even the 99 500. I think that's just how it's going to race. How much salary is too much salary? Just whatever you want to do, driver, whatever you want to do. I have lineups. I have it off the screen, right? I got lineups leaving nearly 20 grand on the table. I got lineups leaving under 5 grand on the table. So we are perfectly fine to leave whatever you want. Let's see here. I'm not playing any other contests, which I think that's the reason why. I don't even know where this contest is at, Phil. We got 75,000 people in the Millionaire Maker. I don't like the payout of that contest. I don't like the sizes of any other contest. I was hoping the 33 would have is it 33 or the 44? I think 30. Did the 33 already fill? I looked earlier in the week. I don't like the size of the 44. I just don't like the sizes of a lot of these contests, and so it kind of gears you to going towards that that 20 that what is it? That 25 one. And yeah, we're gonna get cautions at the end, and so that's where I'm at. If we get single file for the first 3 hours of this race, I don't think there's any real team at a real disadvantage. I think BJ McLeod, and I think he will be better in the draft, but I see BJ Cloud going a lap down. I have, if I had to, and this is just me kind of spitballing here, and thank you for staying here. 92 of y'all here. I appreciate it. If I could not lose you to other streams, that'd be fantastic. But when we look at teams, when we look at cars that I'm actually concerned about legit being slow, I think BJ is the only one. I think everybody else realizes that this last car in line is real, and you're going to need a pack of at least 6 cars, even if you're riding in the back. Let's see. And this is interesting. And so that's why I wish they had more testing for this, because I'm coming to this conclusion past the duels and really watching the duels over again. And I really wish I would have done more. I wish I would have ran DFS crunches for probably 04, and not Talladega either, because Talladega was more inclined to allow more lanes, but specifically with how bumpy Daytona was back then, which is another thing. These cars are going to handle like absolute garbage. I would primarily look at 04, 03, 02, 01, 2000, probably 99 as well. That's what I would look at. And it was guys who were set up. And the main reason for that is, like I said, I don't think we're going to see a lot of pack racing at all until late in the race. We might see 2 lines side by side for a while, but it's going to be one running the inside and one running the outside. There's still the sucker hole in the middle. And unless you have people pushing, and unless you get tandems, which not necessarily tandems, but when you get guys that can actually push people, that's going to be the dominant lane to be in. And so that's how I'm looking at it. I've kind of given you the picks, or at least the guys that I'm happy with. And this is the first Daytona race. And maybe it's because I'm entering more lines, at least for the Cup Series. But this is the first Cup Series race where I am inclined to play more guys starting inside the 20s who can actually race up front and be competitive the entire time. And so those drivers would most likely be Harvick, Byron, Haley, Gillen, Custer, Hemrick, Gregson. I think those cars are going to be fast on their own. And I think those are going to be the cars that are used to get up to the front here. Outside of the guys starting, 15th on forward, it's just Hamlin. That's the only stand I'm taking here. Yeah, Cody Ware is going to be lower owned, so this is a case where I do believe qualifying speeds is very telling and stuff, and those cars aren't off pace. With these spec engines, these spec machines, we don't see the discrepancy. And even with that, like, BJ laid back on purpose in the duels. Gregson clearly, just basically started and parked that. So I'm not really concerned here. Yeah, it's. Let me see. I faded Hamlin in about every single plate race there is, and this is specifically an ownership fade here. I think Hamlin pushes 60% ownership in a tournament that big, because let's just cap it at 100,000 lineups for simplicity. 15% of those lineups are dead on arrival. They either have Kyle Larson or multiple guys inside the top 15. We're going to count 15% of those lineups dead. So you're facing 80,000 lineups. Let's assume those don't have Hamlin. Hamlin pushes 60% ownership. You take that out, you're So you're either going to be behind that 60,000 lineups with Hamlin, or you're going to be ahead of that, depending on what Hamlin does. You're really competing with 25,000 lineups around that point, not dealing with Hamlin, not dealing with, guys picking the pole sitter or guys up front. I'm okay with that. And I think I can still cash, even if Hamlin performs well. If he performs well, he'll be optimal. I think I can still cash even with Hamlin being a great play. That's just how I'm at. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, and this is mainly it. And Hamlin don't even have to wreck. And so, yet again, it comes to, if I think it goes green, Hamlin's going to ride for a good portion of this race. Hamlin will only get caught up in the wreck late in today's race. So that's what we're looking at. I would look at them all. I would look at I'd look at the 500 specifically, because it's ran during the day. And this is just kind of me spitballing, but that's what I would do. Let's see. Let's see. Thoughts on not playing Blaney? What is he? 8th, 7th? Not playing Blaney. And see, like that. That's what I mean. People are going to play. Larson's probably going to come in. God, Hamlin's pushed 11% ownership before starting first. Let's say Larson comes in 8% ownership. I think Hamlin, or not Hamlin, I think Blaney probably pushes around 8 as well. I think those lineups are dead on arrival. I'll answer. I mean, I've just said I'm not playing anybody, but I'll answer that based on who I like, and that's Brad Keselowski, or Brad Keselowski, that which some people still call him, because I like Keselowski. One dual event, everybody changing their. So you got to explain this here, Pierce. I want to hear you talk about this, because I'm still stacked from the back. And I don't think that's changing the approach. I think we've seen that the 500 is, I hate using the term boring, because racing is boring. But we're gonna see a train. But that's just where I'm leaning here. We can't afford to think of it as new cars that these racers are not used. God, I hope you're right, Jay. I just want to see wrecks. And if we can not wreck on the back straightaway, if we can fly towards the grandstands, that'd be great. Hunter, you guys still here? I appreciate it. And so, yeah, I mean, this is the main thing. We have not seen these cars in a pack. If you tuned into the duel video, you saw me very much contradicting myself, saying that the part shortage is I mean, it's clearly out there, and that's what I don't get. Like, people now, it's just becoming a big thing, but I firmly believe that every one of these teams they don't expect this car to be back. They're already making preparations to be short in short supply of cars entering the West Coast swing. That's just the situation they're in. But I think we see a lot of single file. And so when we get into pack racing, I think we're going to see a lot of cars handle like absolute horrible garbage machines. Like I said, I think Jacques will run into a ton of issues if he gets into a pack. I think we'll see the 50 car get into a ton of issues in the pack, just because they didn't have a lot of experience with that. And I think cars that are going to handle just rough, that are not smooth, are going to run into issues. I also think pitting is going to be an issue as well. Specifically, if they're not organized enough, I think we'll see an instant entering pit road today. Let's see. Over under 5 mechanical issues not from Rex. I'd say under. I'd go under there. What super can't afford? I don't think there's any team that can't afford it. Yeah, I don't think there's any team that can't afford it. Am I echoing? Is that? But I do appreciate the donation, Harry. My Balicki play. And I'm sorry, I don't understand the question. I'm just an idiot. I don't recognize that. I'm an idiot. My Balicki pick today. Yeah, I was high on Balicki, which, God, worst case situation for, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to. My projections weren't crazy, but worst case situation. The front they wreck late and the back markers wreck in that race last night. The one that good old CJ turned dead right back into the field. What a power move. What a Chad move. I'm not even mad, because when you actively turn back right into the field like you're playing iRacing when you're mad, I got nothing but respect for you, bud. But into it. Yeah, in terms of my Balicki play, I like, God, I love Hemrick. I really do. And Hemrick's going to go 2 laps down in this race. I'm fine with that. Hemrick has the speed, and I'm fine with that. Fanduel, I got a much more concise pool, and I'm playing. I'll tell you right now, the guys that are in the pool. I know I'm playing Haley. I know I got Gillen. I know I got Castle. I know I got Custer, Ware, Hemrick, Reagan, Gregson, and Jacques. I think that's the pool. There might be a few more guys. I haven't opened the lineup. I have Dylan in the line. I'm only playing 4 lines on that. There's always a chance, man. There's always a chance. I hate to say it, but I don't think we see a lot of wrecks today. Because specifically the reason I'm saying, let's look back at early 2000s races, is they didn't just, obviously they did wreck stuff, but normally it'd be the big one. You'd have instance of 1 or 2 cars. They start single file, and I think that's another reason why I like looking back at those races, because we're going to start double file, obviously, but I think we're going to get single file pretty quickly. And so when you look back at how they raced, starting single file, they didn't really get side by side a ton until, just momentum got them there. And if there was people who wrecked, one guy would spin a guy, he'd go up into the wall, maybe another guy gets collected, but everybody avoids him. And so, a wreck would be 3 or 2 cars, maybe 4 cars. And then whenever they get into the real pack, then they'd have the big one with like 15 cars or whatever. So I think we do see, if we do see wrecks, I think it's going to be 1, 2, 3 drivers at a time. And then we have, the big one, which is probably going to be late. So let's say minimum wrecks is the approach. Then you're playing guys in the back that should be up there competing for the win. So that would prioritize people like Harvick, Byron, Haley. I think Castle's going to be up there racing all day. Gillen. Then you would go to Denny Hamlin. Then you go to Cole Custer. Then you go to Austin Dillon, Eric Almirola. Focus around those types of guys. Oh, you're talking about this? I thought you were saying that. Yeah, dude, I got the stuff before, which I'm very angry because I didn't think about it. I wish I did not get black. I wish I got 2 different tones, or at least like a gray or something, because I don't like the black. It causes too many lighting issues. But I got this stuff on Amazon a year ago. No, 2 years ago, back when I was with DFS Tavern, and yeah, that shit was expensive. Which is why I haven't torn it down. I've just kept using it because until I move again, I'll keep using this one. But is that what you're asking? Yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm so sorry, Harry. I was reading this. I think I got this on Amazon for, I don't know, $60, $80 back then, but I think it's gone up substantially since COVID started. Not 100 of you guys here for me ranting and raving for half an hour. I do appreciate it. And I think, Anzo posted on Twitter. I don't know if he's coming back, but he did post something related to the 500. He's been posting more and more stuff. But yeah, I think that's how I'm looking at it. If you guys got any more questions, want to shoot, me drivers, if you want me to rant some more, whatever you want to do, we're here to have fun. How much time do we got till lock? We got an hour and 15 minutes. I'll probably be here for another 20, give or take, somewhere around there. I'm missing Stewart in the pre-race stuff, so I'm here for you guys over Stewart. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. I just don't I can't. Well, luckily I'm locked in because I have my cable going from here across, so I can never get up when I'm doing this stuff. But maybe we'll, which is another thing. Like I don't know. I have to drink on stream one day where I have everything already done, because I don't like drinking with any type of money involved. I'm waiting for 2 people to message me back on Patreon because they've not given me their email that I need to add them with. That's another thing here. We did have Eric join on Patreon during the stream. I do appreciate it. Let's see. While I add him to the sheets, I'll look at these questions here. Yeah, we've already talked about it. That doesn't concern. You shouldn't be playing Briscoe to begin with. Where's Briscoe even starting? He has to be. Yeah, Briscoe starting 9th. You shouldn't be playing him anything. Good question here. If this is a bet, this would be a no bet for me. I have no clue here. I want to lean over. I really do. On the last lap, and God willing, we don't end this race under yellow. That'd be fantastic, NASCAR. I think this race goes green. I think we see like 22 cars, 23 cars left on the lead lap. And I think we have about 26 cars finish the race, maybe 27. Oh no, I know it's not a bet. I was just in my brain. Yep. That's the stance I'm taking, Justin. I hope Hamlin wrecks, man. I've wanted to see that man flip over for years now. Everybody's cheating, Nick. That's just how it is. Who wins day? I don't know. I don't care. We do, or we don't. We're all winners. We got to flip last night. That's all that matters. And I was wrong. I don't think I played Briscoe, but I thought, looking back at previous duels, I didn't think he'd race hard. Send me a number, Pierce. We got 2 stages. I think we see 5 yellows in this race. Ooh, yeah. I think it's less. Which is an issue, big issue. Because if it's less, you need to hammer the good cars in the back. The real drivers in the back. And that negates 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of the cars starting 30th on back would be taken out of the pool in that situation. You take out Biffle from the inside top 30. That's 7 cars that are garbage plays if he goes green. Yeah. Early caution, unless they decide to wreck early. And yeah, it all depends. I don't even know if we have a big one here, which, whatever you want to justify the definition of a big one. But I don't think we see a crash involving more than 14 cars in this race. But yeah, see, I'm just the contradicting person. You're here to listen to me talk. But which Hemrick, I'm not actually worried about being a lap down, because I think he's going to get the wave around. Because he's going to pit right at the start. They're going to come around. They'll probably catch him around lap 9, 10, 12, anywhere between 8 And 13, they're going to lap Hemrick. He's going to be actually, he's got Briscoe going there too. So they lap Briscoe and Hemrick. They fall back. They're riding with whoever's riding the back of the field. It then goes to whoever is there. I don't think we're going to see anybody else get lapped unless BJ McLeod or somebody else loses the draft from that pack there. And so at max, we might have 4 cars, maybe a bit more, unless the back markers get lapped. I think Hemrick gets his laps back again. Yeah, it's I'm not, because typically whenever I play the Cup Series, I have way more. I mainly just keep lineups between 40th to 30th, but I've pretty much extended that all the way to 20th this week or this weekend. Interesting race. Very interesting. Would have been nice if they had more cars. There's not a part shortage, then they could have raced. I wonder which teams fell back and ride the first stage. I'll tell you that. I think colleague rides. Ty Dillon's going to ride for a while, because Ty Dillon, if you look back at how he does his races, he normally, unless he has different rules from GMS here, but usually whenever he was with Jermaine, he would ride first stage, start gaining position second stage, and really start racing stage 3. So that's fine. Colley's going to ride. I don't think Castle's going to race to start. I think the people that do try and get up to the front is Hamlin's going to decide right off the bat how the backfield is going to go. I would not be shocked if we see Hamlin leading that backpack, because we're either going to have the Joe Gibbs drivers who want to stay up there be up there, or we're going to have Joe Gibbs and Bubba Wallace and Kurt Busch drop back to be with Denny, which in that case the backpack is going to be a pretty strong pack in terms of speed. They'll be fine. I think Harvick rides. So if Harvick rides, because he's already near his teammates, hopefully he'll drop back. Cole Custer will ride. Eric Almirola will ride. I think Rick Ware is going to ride. BJ is clearly going to ride. He always does. I think Gregson's going to ride. Jacques going to ride. And then everybody else inside the top 20, I think they're going to race. That's how it is. Yeah. Which, look, you're talking to the man who clearly was over-owned or I played a lot of Derek Cope last year, and I still cashed in some of those lines. So I'm not too worried about that. I'm fine. Honestly, I'm fine with like 1 or 2 points from my driver. As long as they're not in the negative, that's fine. Even if they wreck and get 3 points, that's better than being, DNF'd and everything like that. Yeah, the 86 of you guys watching here, I really, really do appreciate you guys hanging out with me. And everything. Let's see. They're doing their pre-race concert right now. We got an hour and 10 minutes. 85,000 out of 106,000 in the contest right now. 44 just filled up. Let's see. Did the 3 fill up too? What happened to the big old 3? I guess the 3 did fill up. No. Let's see. Stacking in the back is work, so gonna do it again. That's just how I go. Bill, like I'm telling you, I'm just gonna be rooting for Rex, and yeah, that's just how it's gonna be. Any other questions or any other things? Because it's a plate race. I've told you the picks in the first give or take 10 minutes of who I'm high on, who I want to be on, my takeaway from how I think the race is gonna play out. That's oh yeah, I need to add Eric to the sheets. I'll do that right now here. While we're live, I'll go ahead and let's see, I'll do that. If you want to support me, support Pierce, get all the stuff that we've put out for this race, but for the races moving forward, and certainly next month. Say if you're like, hey, it's the 20th, I don't really want to pay for February right now. I don't really want to just pay for next weekend. Join in February or join in March. Join March 1st. Support us there. Let's see here. Stenhouse and Chastain in the same line. That's a no for me, Doug. Reddick or Jones. Where the hell are you guys even starting? I know these guys have to be. I know I'm not considering them because I don't even know where they're starting. Reddick's starting 15th. That's a no. Eric is starting 13th. That's a no. Yeah, that's a big no for me. It's a big no for me, dog. All right, let me get Eric added real quick to the Google Drive. Let's see what else. I don't want to race in front of Stenhouse. Stenhouse is gonna race, man. If you want a man who's gonna race, it's gonna be Stenhouse, which is I'm not too worried about that. I think Stenhouse is gonna be a good Look, if you want to talk about Hamlin being optimal or not, because Hamlin's gonna either finish top 4 or be in a wreck. Stenhouse is a great play in that sense because I think it's 50-50. Stenhouse either wins this race or gets involved in a wreck. Let's see. Oh, that's you, Harry. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. Thank you for joining, Harry. I do appreciate that. Thank you for supporting us on Patreon. Thank you for supporting me. I'll get you added to the Discord right here. And if you can, obviously don't do it in the chat. But and here I'll message you on Patreon as well. Hold on. Let's see. All right. Eric, I just sent you a message on Patreon for you to check out. Outside of that, let's look back at the stream. That's where I'm Blaney, not playing Blaney. Hammer, stop asking me Hammer questions. I've answered that 6 times. Let's see. I like the build question because I've been talking plate races for the past 3 weeks. Let's see. Not playing Cindric. That just built line. Man, these are where I want good questions. Where are these questions at? I mean, sorry, Jimbo. I'm not trying to hate you, but like this is just basically how you make lineups, like you're just stacking from the back. You stack from the back half of the field. I have a good portion of my lines, running that, I guess, type combination. Yeah. I like Sly Boogie. If you are, I like him. I think he just got out of jail. He was in jail for tax evasion a while back. I'm not real into rap or hip hop or anything. I'm truly one of those guys that listens to everything that actually does. But in terms of favorite genres of music, I'm certainly not going out of my way a ton to listen to rap. And so Hemrick was cheating. So he has to do a pass through on the start. That's fine. I'm not worried about that at all. I think he gets his lap back at some point in the race. And if he doesn't, he doesn't. That's fine. Let Still messing with the Patreon stuff right now, which I do appreciate. Everybody supporting us, answering questions on there and on the stream. 88 of you guys here, I appreciate it. Because you could be watching the pre-race show, but you are not. Let me go there. Let's see. Let me go here. Get that moved. What you guys got for me? What other questions we got here? What contest do you play? I'm just playing the 25. I didn't like any other contest this week. Yeah. That's just how it is. I got 12 lines in the 25. And FanDuel, just I think this, what is it, the 7 this week? I play very, very few lines on FanDuel, but I do play it. I used to play FanDuel each week. Usually I play like 4 or 5 lines. I think I have 4 in the 7 here. I don't even know if that's line. I don't even know if that contest is filled yet. Let me see. Yeah, it's about to fill. Let's see. Will we see NASCAR make a new rule? I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. That's usually how it goes. Let's see. What else we got here? What else y'all got for me here? Oh, there. I think it Oh, clearly the obvious answer to this is no, because there's 5 people on FanDuel and there's 6 drivers on DraftKings. But typically for plate races, the pool is the exact same for both sides. Yeah, I'm sorry, Kenny. I had to beat you to that. Let's see. Yeah, have you joined? Hold on a minute. Oh, hi. There you go. I got you all good on Discord now. I'm just waiting for your response on Patreon, Eric. Let's see. Dirt drivers. I mean, look, man, we're crazy, but we're getting there. Look at Stewart. Stewart was amazing on super speedways. Nobody never won the 500. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. He's second only to Earnhardt. Earnhardt started on dirt. You know, all good drivers start on dirt. Let's see. It doesn't matter. It's rigged. It's a sham. It's a scam. So it doesn't. None of it matters. It is. It is worrying. I had to actively make sure I don't just jam Noah into each line. Yeah. Yeah, it was I had to actively like stop myself from just making sure I didn't just play Noah in every single line. Go back to that. No. I don't like. Let's see, Logano. What is he? Sorry, I got so much stuff going on right now. Logano's. Yeah, I like Logano. He's starting 20th. I have him in the line. Let me see. All right, Eric. I just added you to the sheets. It'll take a few seconds for you to get the email. Or go to Google Drive and go to share. It should be there. Takes a few minutes. That's another thing because I've had to answer this on Patreon. I doubt most of you guys listening already on Patreon, but usually Patreon takes like around like 5 to 10 minutes to confirm if the money's going to go through, which most time it does, but I don't add anybody till it does go through. Let me see. So I'm assuming that Google's better than that, but you know how it goes. And make sure I got there. Yeah, you're all good to go there. Eric, you. All right. Sorry, you got to support the people who are supporting us. Let's see. There's not much overlay in that contest right now. There's 3.3% overlay right now in the Millionaire Maker. So even if it doesn't fill, there's not going to be any overlay. That's for sure. I don't pick to win the race. I know that's not fun. I know it's fun to like, oh my God, so and so's gonna drive to the win. Wow. But I frankly could care less who wins this race. Yeah, I really, really don't care. I'll probably like if somebody like Michael McDowell or somebody who doesn't deserve to win, I'll certainly complain about it. But outside of that, I really don't care. Let's see. Of the non-Hamlin shock, least likely. Oh, that's a good question. Least likely to be optimal. I'm going to defer to my projections on this question. So, oh my God, you make projections on plate races? Yeah, I do. Let's see. I got Logano right now projected for 55.7 points. I have Denny Hamlin for 64.05 points. I have Austin Dillon for 52.85, and I have Eric Almirola for 55.95. So due to that, the answer would be Austin Dillon from those drivers. That's what I would defer to. But it just depends on how the race goes. It really does. God, dude, I hope this race has wrecks. It's going to be boring if it isn't. It's going to be boring, but that's how racing is. I'm sure Twitter will be mad when they're running a train, but that's just how it is. Let's see. I think we've covered about everything. I do appreciate you guys being here. I'll give you guys a few more minutes to send some questions or pick my brain or whatever. But outside of that, I think we've covered about everything so far. Like I said, I do appreciate you guys joining. I do appreciate you guys being supportive. We're almost to 60 people on Patreon. Really appreciate that. That goes a long way. And at this point, I can actually cover everything I wanted to with that in terms of being able to survive. So let's talk about this. We'll end on this. If Hamlin is optimal and there are no wrecks, or not a bunch of big wrecks, the guys in the back never really have a chance to gain positions outside of Eric Almirola, Austin Dillon, Hamrick, Gill, and whatever. I think it's split. Maybe between like 3 or 4 people. That's still great. If Hamlin is involved in a wreck, I don't see the Millionaire Maker being split. That's just how I look at it. If Hamlin is fine, the possibility of that increases. If Hamlin is involved in a wreck, I don't think it splits. That's how it goes. Let's see. What is this? What was Sam's ones in the league? Can you do a podcast where we talk smack about drivers or touts? Not for defense, but who's your? I don't care about who wins the race. I don't bet. I don't really care. Mike Joy, is he? It was always sad watching DW dye his hair. That was always kind of sad. Let's see. Been here for a while. You guys got any trash about NASCAR you want to talk about? I always like trash in NASCAR. I'm always down for that. We can end it on that. Start the season right. And talking about how here we'll go on a rant here. We've really talked about all we can at this point for this race. So interesting that they, NASCAR shows when they can throw yellow when they want. When they actually want to, have the finger on the button, they can throw that yellow when they need to. Outside of that, we'll clearly see an instant today where somebody spins or something happens and they don't throw a yellow for like 10 seconds or something. Or the broadcasting has been horrible this week. Fox has been missing stuff left and right. I don't know who's in charge. I don't know what's going on, but it's been bad. This coverage has been absolutely terrible this weekend. And they're like, well, look at how fast these cars are going. And they zoom in on like 3 cars, for the entire run. Like these guys act like there's 4 cars in this race. Let's see. What was the first one last year? You have to refresh because I just rant so much. I don't see. Okay, so this is. I think I mentioned it in one of the live shows with Pierce this week, but I'm concerned about the suspensions breaking from the transition from the banking to the apron. And so if somebody is avoiding a wreck and they throw it to the apron, I think there's a chance that we do see parts failures, because I do believe this car is made out of styrofoam. How will NASCAR be able to catch cheating despite more restricted? It just depends on how good. It depends on who's telling NASCAR who's cheating. That's usually in all racing series. Most officials are intelligent. They understand how it works. But the way teams get caught is another team rats on them. It's how it is every time, not even with race cars. But, you have a little gossip, Josh is cheating on Becca with Rachel or whatever. Somebody tells somebody, and then that just keeps spreading around. And then sure enough, you have a homicide, And so in racing, you have a team that either sees them doing something weird, or somebody within that team, will go on Snapchat or will go on something and be like, well, we have a little hidden trick here. We've actually bolted the suspension, 3 milli-inches, closer to the chassis of the car. That gives us a built-in, aerodynamic advantage. We've kind of built in, some camber, some caster in the suspension. Don't tell nobody. And then they tell people, and it gets out there. And so I'm assuming the reason they confiscated the wheels from Roush is I'm pretty sure somebody knew about it. Somebody had loose lips, because loose lips sink ships. And it progressed to, hey, NASCAR, maybe you should check out those wheels over there. And then that's how it always goes. That's how cheating always goes in racing. That's just how it is. But yeah, that's that. And we're going to see cheating left and right. And everybody's freaking out because, on the Dale Jr. download like 2 weeks ago, Jr. was like, yeah, cheating's going to be rampant in this car. We're like, no, duh, it's racing. Come on. Everybody cheats. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. That's literally it. So Eric Estep, get the F out of here, bro. Everybody cheats. Stop joking around. Like, I hate. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was yet again NASCAR being NASCAR. Ryan Newman being Ryan Newman here. Man, I was never. Pierce is convinced that we're gonna miss Newman, and I miss Sam Hornish. I miss David Rudiman. I miss Brian Scott. I don't think I'm gonna miss Ryan Newman. I really don't, but we'll see. All right, we've been here for nearly an hour. I do appreciate you. 60 of y'all still being here. I do appreciate you. Thank you for spending your morning with me, enjoying. Real quick, no podcast. I don't believe I don't believe Jason is doing Dirty Air this year. I'm assuming that's the case. Either way, I'm doing so much now with Patreon and stuff. I don't have time to do an outside podcast unless I'm joining Stacking Ninnies again, which I'll probably do at least a couple times this year, but certainly not anytime soon. Oh no, Danica's in the booth for Vegas and Phoenix. Oh my god. Oh no. Oh my god. I'll mute that broadcast. I won't even watch Las Vegas and Phoenix for that. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. We'll end it on that. Danica Patrick sucks. One of the worst drivers I've ever seen. Unbelievable. Doesn't know jack. I don't want to hear her talk about analyzing anything. Don't want to hear nothing. Danica Patrick sucks. We'll end it on that. I am not looking forward to Vegas and Phoenix because I got to listen to her talk now. You know why she's there? Because she lives in Phoenix. That's the only reason she's there. She's going to Vegas because they didn't find anybody else. Just put Larry Mack in the booth. That'll be way more entertaining, way more fun. Oh my God. Whenever they have Patrick on for the 500, the Indy 500, it's annoying. Unbelievably annoying. So we'll end it on that. Thank you guys for watching. Let's see. I was going to do another rant, but we'll do it another time. We'll see you guys later, and enjoy the race today. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting Pierce. Thank you for supporting the stream. Thank you for being here. And I do appreciate it. Enjoy the day, enjoy your weekend, and enjoy the 500. And when it gets boring, just remember, it's racing. It doesn't always have to be passing stuff, but it will be boring. So just, get some keystones and go ahead. Real quick, I think the Jacques comes in around 3% ownership. We'll see you guys next week in the preview shows and in the live shows, because we'll be doing live this whole year. So I'll see you guys later.